If somewhere within the Bible I were to find a passage that said 2 plus 2 equals 5, I wouldn't question what I'm reading in the Bible. I would believe it, accept it as true, and then do my best to work it out and to understand it.
Okay, that seems reasonable. So what you're saying is that if the Bible told you that 2 plus 2 equals 5, that you would believe that over your own eyes. That's what you literally just said. Well, here's my retort. If you believe that 2 plus 2 equals 5, then I want to slap you across the goddamn face so you'll have 5 perfectly imprinted fingerprints so you'll know what 5 is, motherfucker! I'm sorry. I don't know what got into me. I'm gonna try to remain calm, and let's watch what the rest of these creationists had to say. Shall we?
I can't even fathom coming from this little thing that crawled on the ground to apes to being human. It just doesn't, it sounds crazy to me.
So what you're saying is that evolution sounds crazy to you, but the fact that God created man out of dirt and then created woman out of a rib and then impregnated a virgin with himself so that we may be forgiven for the sins that he condemned us to begin with is all perfectly rational and sane? Is that what you're saying?
I would love to encourage Mr. Darwin and others that feel just like him to try God and see the transformation for themselves.
So, let me get this straight. You're sending a message out to Charles Darwin, and you would like to ask Charles Darwin to try God. Well, what if I told you that Charles Darwin died over 130 goddamn years ago? He can't fucking hear you! If you don't even know that Darwin is dead, then obviously you're not fucking fit to speak on the subject of goddamn evolution, you stupid fucking bitch! What is the matter with your brain? How do you even fucking tie your shoes in the morning? How do you form simple sentences? How do you not just drool and fall the fuck over when you try to walk? So fast forward a little bit, and eventually we moved to another town. But that wasn't the last of the stories I heard about Crazy Old Charity. Every single week that rolled at this church, she continued to get struck by the Holy Spirit and fall out. And eventually she did this so much that one time she fell out and she hurt her back really bad. And of course she expected the church's insurance to pay for her medical bills. And the church wasn't having none of it. They actually asked her to leave the freaking church. Leave the church. Now you understand what this means, right? And believe me, I'm living proof. When you admit to yourself that it's all fucking fake, you'll start feeling a ton better. Because you realize that nobody needs to burn in hell for eternity. Nobody ever has to be tortured forever and ever and ever. Oh, you want me to explain the pyramids? You want me to explain the pyramids? Well, I'd be happy to goddamn explain the pyramids. They're fucking rocks, man. That's all the goddamn pyramids are. They're big fucking rocks stacked on top of other big fucking rocks stacked up on top of other really giant fucking rocks, man. You know, one of the greatest joys in a young man's life is masturbation. And every single time there was Jesus to ruin that shit for me. I mean, every single time I would clean up my impressive boilo that was all over my stomach, and immediately, the guilt and the butterflies would ascend upon my stomach like jackals, man. I felt so shitty every time. I felt so weak. I had to pray to Jesus every single time I finished, man, just to make myself feel better. I would say, "Dear Jesus, I'm so sorry for the sin I have committed against you. Please help me be strong in the future not to masturbate anymore." But don't get me wrong, man. This didn't deter my masturbation at all. Oh, hell no. I was still a little spunking monkey, man. Feverishly pawing at my pork sword every chance I got. You know, no matter how many times I prayed to Jesus to help me stop masturbating, he never seemed to listen, man. It was almost like he liked watching me, you know? It was almost like he liked watching me. But I can remember very clearly when I was 13 deciding to make a stand for God. It was Christmas Day. And for some reason, I always felt extra guilty about masturbating on Christmas Day, because that was like the ultimate sin. You can't masturbate on Jesus' birthday, man. You go straight to hell for that kind of shit. So I never masturbated on Christmas, man, and I was feeling really anxious, and I was feeling guilty for that, man. So right then and there, I made a promise to God. As my New Year's resolution, I promised never ever to masturbate again. And when I made a promise to God, I intended to keep it, because that was the ultimate thing. You don't ever break your promises to God, man. And I can very clearly remember watching on TV as that ball dropped in New York and thinking to myself, well, that's it. I'm never gonna masturbate ever again. I promise, God. I lasted to January 3rd. And by then I was like a crack addict in fucking rehab, man. I was all jittery and jonesing for that shit. I just couldn't take it anymore, man. I had to do it. And I knew I was breaking my promise to God with every stroke, man. And with every stroke, I felt more and more guilty. And I swear, man, when I came, I felt like I was coming directly in Jesus' face. I never felt more guilty about anything in my life, man. I was crying. I was like, I'm sorry, Jesus. I just wanted to hand him a moist towelette. Regular masturbation is a must for any healthy man. They've done scientific studies on this and shit, and they found that if you don't masturbate regularly, your sperm will start to pickle in your ball sack, and then your babies will be born Republican. And Greg P says, I'm glad I retired also, LOL. I was reading the stars and strips, and seems all the talk is about gay this and gay that, LOL. Had a kid tell me I was a disgrace to the uniform because I don't believe in gays, LOL. I took it as a compliment. And Master Debater says, they have semen poisoning. Affects their brain housing group. What the fuck does that mean?